Welcome to Bespoke Blogs. This blog is about sustainable bioenergy, peripheral lands in the Mediterranean. As an asset base for the bioeconomy, farming biomass creation assumes a vital part in the creation of food and feed, just as crude materials for various finished results in biorefineries. Lately, a few global associations, administrative establishments, scientists and specialists, have supported and advanced the development of biomass for energy purposes, bioenergy, on minimal grounds, as a trade-off for settling the contending claims on customary food creation on agrarian land, and a suitable pathway towards a manageable and low-carbon society. In this sense, governments advanced aspiring arrangements and improvement programs, intended to cultivate and adjust devoted bioenergy crops by expanding their yield, quality, and capacity to adjust to the conditions found on peripheral terrains. In any case, there is a specific worry for the alleged food, energy, and climate trilemma that the creation of bioenergy will have on worldwide ozone-depleting substance discharge, in a post-petroleum derivative world with an expanding request and rivalry for land assets. Also, questions have been raised about the compromises between food creation and bioenergy, in a typical discussion with respect to food security and dubious accessibility, access, use, and steadiness of food to support humankind. Moreover, huge difficulties have arisen on the advances to bioenergy crops according to natural issues, for example, the effect assure use changes, and aberrant land use changes, water assets, biodiversity and living space protection. A key open issue concerns how to best assign these harvests inside customary farming frameworks, settling at the field scale the contentions assure use situations, land sharing versus land saving, and yet safeguarding and improving biological system administrations, in a structure of new nature-based arrangements, to turn ecological, social and monetary difficulties into development openings. Albeit this is a worldwide discussion, new and brilliant freedoms and arrangements are critical, particularly for the Mediterranean agrarian frameworks and ranches, taking into account that the normal impacts of environmental change to 2050 could bring about much lower ranch overall gains in southern locales contrasted with northern areas. In spite of the developing energy on the side of negligible grounds for delivering biomass in Mediterranean areas, scene organizers, policymakers and leaders are still ineffectively prepared to assess and mindfully coordinate bioenergy crops into economical cultivating projects on dry spell inclined conditions. Up to now, past endeavors have been driven fundamentally by winning monetary investigations and potential feedstock creation assessments covering mild environments. In these specific circumstances, a setup of powerful pointers and institutional structures were created, for surveying and estimating the feasible creation of bioenergy. The motivation behind this examination is to investigate and talk about continuous and arising basic inquiries, for supporting practical lignocellulosic feedstock creation on minimal horticultural terrains, inside a structure of science-based and in fact sound supportability pointers. The examination looks at specifically the difficulties in regards to European Mediterranean nations, considering their exceptional and complex scene qualities impacted by geology, soils and surface water conditions. The general construction of the examination is verbalized in 4 areas. The main segment examines the worldview meanings of peripheral land in a dream of setting and scale in which they are utilized. The idea was then contextualized for the bioenergy area in an environment administration's viewpoint. The subsequent area gives an outline of the pertinent markers to assess the maintainable bioenergy creation. The third area traces the fundamental difficulties and issues for biomass development, with a choice of studies connected with the maintainability markers significant for the Mediterranean districts. The last segment fills in as a stage for setting the specific situation, to share and underline qualities, proposals and vital ideas for organizers, specialists and policymakers for better planning and overseeing of manageable bioenergy supply chains on minor terrains. The worldview of marginal lands, peripheral grounds are conceptualized in a dream of anthropogenic ecosystem attribution of the nature, in accordance with the idea of biological system. In this falling methodology, biophysical structures create biological system capacities and resulting administrations and qualities for human prosperity. Along these lines, minor terrains are those that, in a given spot, produce environmental capacities and administrations or advantages, for people underneath specific assumptions, for a given use, where the level of power is connected to the chance expense of this land. This is plainly a unique situation and worldly scale idea, versatile and adaptable, where the human goals and exercises in these terrains are proposed to boost the arrangement of explicit administrations. In this examination, the idea of minimal farming terrains to deliver bioenergy have been outlined in 4 fundamental scholastic orders covering geomorphology, agronomy, economy and socio-social angles. Inside each control, a setting size of utilization and a bunch of key pointers for a thorough and target estimation examination have been recognized. Effects on biodiversity. Various cross-sectional examinations recommend that subsequent age crops emphatically sway biodiversity and numerous environment administrations whenever contrasted with original ones in bioenergy scenes. The advantages may add to scene heterogeneity and network with characteristic living spaces, support zones around weak regions and security of riparian territories too. Examining the species wealth in the low information cartoon plots in Velestino, Greece, Solomou et al. Found that carabid insect networks and plenitude of herbaceous plants were decidedly related with the dirt natural matter and nitrogen, and presumed that carabid species extravagance and plant species variety was a satisfactory biodiversity marker in the investigation territory. The carabid species were tested by utilizing entanglement traps, while herbaceous plants were arbitrarily chosen in plots. What's more, soil temperature, soil tests for lab investigation, climate information, GPS estimations and measurable examinations were performed to represent relationships between factors too. Concerning on-perpetual harvests, Cataneo et al. Revealed expanded soil biochemical movement and microbial variety under miscanthus and Goliath reed in South European soils, decidedly connected with soil carbon and nitrogen substance. Useful ramifications. In general, this examination fortifies the possibility that energy harvests can be effectively developed on minimal grounds, giving considerable advantages as far as ecological effects and financial issues, and supporting environment administrations, contrasted with concentrated monocropping frameworks. Concerning book reference examined, it plainly arises that a full scene plan investigation, with field research information, is required before developing a particular yield at a particular area, thinking about the mind-boggling and delicate scene of the Mediterranean ecoregion. Principal challenges incorporate natural dangers related with the agronomic practices, for example soil aboard, water system rehearses, biodiversity, GHG discharges, land use rivalry with food, just as vulnerability about financial supportability and incorporation with encompassing agro-environments and ranchers' requirements. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Do leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Please reach us at contact@thebespokediaries.com, or you can visit our website www.thebespokediaries.com.